World of Tanks loading, please wait. Lots of awards and licensing. Rated T for teen, mild violence. World of Tanks. And welcome to Green Walkthrough's gameplay video of, wait for it. Before I say what game this is, in case you couldn't guess already, I've been meaning to do this game for a long time. Basically, ever since I was doing a game similar to this called World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition, I've been meaning to do this game. But unfortunately, I had my laptop at the time when I wanted to record this game, and my laptop just couldn't handle the game at any reasonable graphics and record at the same time. It basically was just choppy. You know, it just did not work. Not for video purposes at all, but not even for simple gameplay purposes. It doesn't work either. So none of us can have fun watching. I mean, if it worked for video purposes, it would be fine, but it wasn't playable at all, even with forward graphics. And even, I mean, in World of Tanks, I could barely play on my computer anyway. I could play it at like 10 frames, which was barely adequate for World of Tanks. I basically died a lot because of it, but it was nevertheless fun. So what I did instead is, you'll find in the description, I made a World Tour episode detailing my tank collection I accumulated over my, year and a half of like playing World of Tanks. Playing this game. Yeah, so I'm back with the mass computer, and we will wreck its space this time. I will play with max graphics, I will pay it as most possible max graphics. I will get 60 frames. I will make it pay for what it has done to me. You know, making me waste all this time playing without the World of Tanks. But yeah, this is welcome to Google Walks, this gameplay video of World of Tanks! That's it. Or you can call it, since I have other series that are like this, World of Tanks PC! I'm Darish Blind. We are playing World of Tanks on the PC, or more adequately, the mass computer. Because, well, it's the mass computer. It surely can run this game as well, with wraps as well as run the game. It can even run Armored Warfare Early Access 1, 2, and 3 at 60 frames sometimes. Well, more of the time once they optimized it, but sometimes, even though Armored Warfare is a system hog, making my computer kind of overheated a couple of times in Early Access number 1, but it's overheated because it was not optimized, and also it's a very modern game, as in Early Access as of summer 2015, and that's when last time I played it, and my computer owned it. So what can it do to World of Tanks? Which is, well, kind of dated at this point, and we'll see. I mean, the reason why I wanted to record World of Tanks on PC was two. One, I just wanted to record it, as I do have some tanks on it that I don't have on my 360, although those tanks only number in like 2. The rest have been released ever since then. And I also got later on. And the other reason is, I simply want to point out the differences between this, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Because there are a lot of differences. Especially going from World of Tanks PC and World of Tanks Xbox One. There are a lot of differences. A lot of improvements have been made. So if you've just been playing World of Tanks PC and just been watching World of Tanks PC videos, which is kind of unlikely, if you're watching this one, as you're probably a fan of my, you probably watched my World of Tanks Xbox gameplay, as well as you might be a fan of that, and you might stick around on my channel. Or if you're on my channel and you notice I play World of Tanks Xbox 360, Xboxes, you might be wondering what's the difference between that and PC. I'm going to show you. And the differences are great and many. But there are reasons to play both at the same time, or play all three at the same time. Which I'm going to show. So let me enter my details, like my email, my password, and we'll continue on at the garage. And also, what I really like about the World of Tanks games, or the World of games on the PC, it's the backgrounds are always awesome. As you can see, this is the Tier 1 background. You got our Tier 1 Cunningham, you got our MS1 it looks like, or is it a Chinese one? I think it's Chinese because I think that's gold. Could also be MS1, kind of hard to tell. You got the low tractor, you got the medium one, you got also could be a oh, this is probably the MS1 because it has the little hat that's on the side. This is probably the Chinese tank, I think. And then over there you got the French tank, the FT, but I like to call it the P551 because that's the American version and never made it because World War I ended. But yeah, I really like this picture, so I'm actually going to screenshot it. Alright, but anyway, so I'll meet you in game. Alright, in game, here we are. First notable difference, T1E6. Notice there's no X on it. Yeah, this is the original T1E6. This was given out as an anniversary gift. Oh, by the way, you may know this, the graphics are a little dated but also upgraded. Because this game, I think, came out in like 2009, or, yeah, I guess 2009, don't say 29 because that's weird. But yeah, it came out in like 2009. It's been constantly updated. The graphics have been anyway, but it's still very much what it's like, or what it was like in 2009, just graphically updated. Similar how the World of Tanks Xbox 60 and Xbox One are, even though they are the same game. It's just the graphics have been overhauled tremendously between the two games. That's basically what they have done since then, but it's still, I want to say, not as good as Xbox One. It gets the job done adequately, but as you can see, there's no extra stuff. Let's take a look at the Lee, which we know for having extra stuff on it. As you can see, it just has its tools and its tow cable, and that's it. No boxes up here, no stuff on the back of the turret, no nothing. It's very plain. But it still looks really, really nice. I actually haven't seen things look this good, and also getting 60 frames solid, because I didn't play any recent versions. I haven't touched World of Tanks since like mid-spring 2015, so not that long, but still a pretty long way away. Was it 2014? But I haven't touched it since then, and you know, I think it has gotten out graphical improvements, but what you also notice is when you switch vehicles, there is no engine noise. Wait, actually, I think there is. No, this is not. It's just the guy rushing in the background. And there's no engine noise like there is in the Xbox versions. There is no smoke coming off the vehicle, but there is in game. Basically, just imagine the vehicles being turned off. You know, like unlike the Wolf Tanks versions, those garage crews who like to rip up the vehicles just because they can. The PC versions, these guys, which you can actually see your crew in the PC, they do not care. They do not care about sound. They just do. They like to look at the tank enough. They do not like the sound of the tank. But yeah, so those are the differences that strike you first. And also, I mean, that's what the tank versions difference strikes you first. But there's also like these are not bars, they're actual data, which I think they added bars to help newer gamers. Or help gamers that are more adjusted to looking at bars as opposed to just raw data. You know, because a World Tanks average player would know exactly what this is, or at least know most of what this is, or at least know what it means and how it affects gameplay. However, a new player may not know this, so that's probably why they added bars, is because you can look at the bars and see exactly what vehicles are better than. They're better than each other. Although I don't quite like it because, well, it's the bars in the Xbox versions. I just never. I find them difficult to understand as opposed to numbers. So yeah, that's weird. But also you may notice is each of these slots have a different part. Unlike the Xbox versions, these parts, you know, you can actually get different parts. You don't have to buy packages. You can actually buy individual parts, and if the parts, let's look at research, and if the parts need something like, let's say this gun, it needs an enhanced, in order to have this gun in that engine, I believe, you have to have suspension. I do apologize if I'm messing this up, but not right now. I'm not used to this system, but yeah, basically suspension is useful for carrying more parts, and as you can see, we have parts here. And again, I'm not, you know, I don't upgrade my things fully. This is where my not upgrading things fully or not upgrading things at all comes from. But yeah, so you can select the individual parts, except, you know, you might need suspension, you might need a better turret, because you might need a better turret in order to use your different parts, which we can take a look at the Sherman, which does have, see the Sherman, see that, we need that turret in order to mount that gun. So yeah, I mean, again, it's another thing that I think they changed in the Xbox versions to make it a little easier on people. Because maybe people complained it was too difficult to understand, or something like that, and when they decided to make the Xbox versions, the Xbox versions are very much updated World of Tanks PC, or at least to me they are. They decided to make it a little bit simpler to understand, so most people can just see it and look at it and go, do I like that or don't like it? I think it's okay. I mean, I don't prefer either system. But, you know, it's nice just to see a module and know that it's better than the other module and just buy that. Or know that module is like that module, but that module has no more engine power. Or that module has a different gun. Like this gun is slow rate of fire, this gun's high rate of fire. You get the idea. But also what's cool about the PC version is they actually show you all your crew. Like on the side of the screen and show you what they do. Like if I had a crew ability, they would show it. They would show it here. That's really not in the Xbox versions. Xbox versions, they kind of hide their crew a bit. It's more like an expert thing in the Xbox versions to manage your crew. While in World of Tanks PC, it's more of an average thing to manage your crew. Of course, I never really got a hang of it, and it's really expensive if you mess up. So I never really messed around with the crew, but, you know, that's like half the reason premium existed. I have a lot of premium, so maybe I'm doing things wrong, but yeah. I'll learn eventually. But yeah, and then going on, but that's the main difference between the two garage screens. Now, what's the main difference and why I came back to World of Tanks PC and I'm going to explain other reasons why I actually got back to it right now. That is Tech Tree. Look at this madness. Yeah, World of Tanks Xbox 360 and likewise Xbox One. Were basically they made Xbox 360 and Xbox One without all the tanks of the current PC version, and that was the current PC version of what, like a year ago? Yeah. And they've been gradually updating the Xbox versions, but you know the PC version it has more tanks. It used to have more nations, but now they're equal on nations, but it still has more tanks. Much, much more tanks. So if you like variety in Xbox, you know, PC is where the variety is at. And if you didn't like the fact that there was no variety in Xbox, PC is where variety is at. Which is one of the few examples of Xbox doing worse, well, comparatively, to PC. Because there is not that much unit variety, except for the nations. Like Japan has the same amount of units, except Japan has a premium as a second premium. Xbox does not. China, I think, is pretty much the same in the current state of World of Tanks as of August 2nd, 2015. And I'm comparing these two versions on August 2nd, 2015. But yeah, as you can see, but generally all the nations have lots more tanks and they're different tanks and more premiums, just because it's been out longer. And I believe the reason why they didn't I believe the reason why the Xbox versions didn't have all the tanks of the PC version is a simple case of they updated the Xbox 360 versions basically every way except physics. You know, like the Xbox 360 versions are very much modern, like Wall of Tanks 2.0 almost. But you know, since they've been doing that, they had to release it sometime, so they couldn't put all the vehicles in it like the PC version has. And the PC version has not been really getting updates to make it more like the Xbox version in terms of graphics and gameplay, because the Xbox versions have much different balancing than the PC version has. Like for instance, let's go to the US tech tree real quick. The super Pershing, I've heard, the super Pershing in the PC sucks now. It was pretty awesome at release, but now it sucks. But from personal experience, the Xbox versions, or the version, the Super Pershings on Xbox, the Xboxes, it's okay. It's a good tank. It might have been better on the original release on PC, but it's a good tank, and it's actually worth getting. This, however, probably not worth getting. Unless it changed, unless it got buffed from the last time I heard, which the last time I heard that was like a year ago as well, a couple months ago I should say. So yeah, there's different balancing too. So that's another reason to either play or not play PC, because if you like your Xbox balancing and you go to PC and you don't like the balancing there, then that's one thing. But yeah. So that's another difference. I mean, another difference about the Wall of Tanks on PC, it's not much of a difference, but actually, but you see here, I want to say I definitely know your free XP your free XP is, carried over. I want to say either your silver or your gold's carried over between the wall, but anyway, your free XP at least is carried over between Wall of Tanks, World of Warplanes, and World of Warships. So you use the free XP on either of those games, depending on, you know, whatever vehicles you like in whatever games, and they go to earning your free XP, which is pretty awesome. That's something that you don't have. You obviously have it in Xbox, because the Xbox, in Xbox 360 and Xbox One, no, they're the same thing in terms of your account. If you're using your same account on both games, everything goes over perfectly. But however, they don't carry over to the World of Tanks on PC, to World of Warplanes or World of Warships, because the PCs are different from the Xboxes. So yeah, that's another interesting information to note. But that's all I can really show you. I guess the barracks is different. Oh yeah, the barracks is different. You can actually sort it. Here's my barracks. But yeah, that's all the garage differences, and we are running out of time. So let's show you off a different tank. Now, I have used pretty much all these tanks except for you and you. Because I don't have you. I could buy you, but I don't have you. And I don't have you because you haven't released yet. However, you've released, I have you, although this is a basic version, before I stopped playing, I just got the M4. And by just got it, I mean I don't have the 76 or the 105. So yeah, it'd be an interesting experience using the 75 again. But I do have the M3 Elite fully upgraded, or well, you know, as upgraded as I like it. I have the T40, which, how is that going? It has a gun. It has the gun. And then I have the Panda 38T, which is, I don't think it's fully upgraded. If it's not, then we have a problem. Oh, yes it is. Upgraded enough, I think. I think it's upgraded enough anyway. And then you have the Panda 1C, which never sucks. And I put the machine gun on my Xbox version. I had the autocannon on this one, because I didn't know the machine gun existed. And then you got these guys, which you haven't released yet, and I haven't bought you because I just never thought I'd do it. I thought I got rid of this thing too, but I guess I did not. Or you gave it back to me, which is nice of Wargaming to give me back the one in lifetime thing that I kind of deleted when I shouldn't have. But yeah, it's nice. And you got the atomic car we can fool around with. And you got the T1E6. But since this is my main Xbox tank, and I want to show off another T1E6, let's use the T1E6. Oh, by the way, also what's different about the a 360 version is when you buy a new tank, let me show you. You get the store if you want to go to the store, but I want to go to the tech tree, which is way over here. I'm used to World of Warplanes and Warships, the tech tree's right there. But what I want to do is, I want to go down this line because this line does not exist in the 360 or in the Xbox versions. And I want the Grant, I want the Sherman 3, and I want the Firefly. So, you know, to get to that, I need to use medium 1. Now here's how buying a new tank works in PC. Yeah, rep a crew. And then we bought the tank. There we go. And there's our tank. We're not going to use the tank. We might use it in the next episode, but not right now. Alright, let's use the T1E6 before we run out of time. Oh, by the way, also when you get a new tank, you have to service it. The 360 version does this for you automatically, but the PC or the Xbox version does it for you automatically. PC version, you have to click on this, and you have to click on this, or else you won't get restocked after a battle. So be careful about that. Alright, well, let's get the T1E6. Now, what makes this different from the T1E6X is, one, it doesn't have the star on the front, and two, I don't quite know what's really different about it, actually. Other than they just called it the T1E6X for the Xbox, and then they called the second one the T1E6X1, again because they wanted to stick this. No, that's not what I want to look at. I'm not used to how this works. Oh, we can just get here. I'm not quite sure why it's different, but it is a different one, and I have all three. So yeah. And if I make a fourth one, I will get the fourth one. So let's see how many people are playing at tier 2. Now, when I first got this thing, I fell in love with it. I mean, as you can tell from how much I love the T1E6X in, oh, this map, I had not played this map before. This is a low tier map and it released like a year ago. I had not played this map at all. And it's on the Xbox versions. But anyway, so yeah, I love this thing from the start because it just looked cool. I like the Cunningham, but I just like this just a little bit more. But yeah, now let's discuss how this screen's different. On this screen, you can see your team. I believe you can't, yeah, you can't see your team on Xbox 360. It's the only tank game where you can see your team, as well as probably War Thunder. And then, oh, by the way, when the match starts, you actually, we don't have the range for this. When the match starts, your screen gets smaller, and then you can hit tab to get to that screen. And then, as you can see, the HUD is a little bit different. Which I don't like the HUD in this game. I prefer 360's HUD or Xbox's HUD. He's calling it 360, but it's Xbox now. You know, because of Xbox One and all that. And also, you can zoom out way more, and you are always zoomed out way more on like Xbox, especially Xbox One. Xbox One, you're really zoomed in for some reason. We gotta find the targets. Yeah, this is basically the most CQC map that they could possibly devise in Wolf Tanks. This is basically the Rust, the Dome, you know, all those Call of Duty maps in Wolf Tanks. As well as like a Guardian from Halo and Battlefield, just all CQC maps are released in the CQC pack in Battlefield 3. Basically all of them combined into just because they could. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get these guys. Yeah, as you can see, the HUD's completely different. Ah, yeah, this is the main difference between this and the EX1 or the X version. It has a slow firing autocannon, or has an autocannon instead of, it has an auto loader type deal instead of an auto cannon, which it has in the Xbox version. That's why it's different. Oh, you're dead. And also, you don't have health bars. You have health percents. But yeah, this thing's still awesome. It also doesn't have much of a traverse rate either. And that is why they called it an a T1E6X in 360, because it's a different gun. And that's why you must have all three. And you can't have all three because they're all timed exclusives. By time, I mean they're only for special events. Like this was for anniversary. T1E6X was for August Extravaganza, and T1E6X1 was for pre-downloading Wolf Tanks Xbox One. Which unfortunately, that's probably our pill for people to swallow that don't have an Xbox One at the time. But you know, pre-order bonuses and all that, you're dead. No. I love it. Oh, well, I gotta remember 5 ammo, and we don't have health. That's the difference. Oh, also, you notice the audio in this game is hilariously not good. You know, it's not Wolf Tanks 360, and it's definitely not Wolf Tanks Xbox One audio. In both terms for, in both terms of gun audio, and the voices of the characters are kind of hilariously, they're kind of hilariously not good. Unlike the revised versions in Xbox 360 and the revised versions in Xbox One, which sound awesome, and they kind of sound funny, but they kind of sound funny in they sound funny way, not in their hilariously bad kind of way. What do you mean? That doesn't mean the audio in this game is very bad, it's just kind of dated. But yeah, okay, one guy left. And I can show you what the screen's like. Let's switch to you are hiding in the bush, which is probably smart as your tier 1. You got this guy. I can say affirmative in this game actually. There is a command row somewhere. I forgot what it is. I forget where it is, but yeah. Mastery badge class 2. First match after coming back. Yeah, I downloaded the game and I didn't play it for days, and then I decided, you know what, I want to record Wolf Tanks. So you know what, I didn't do a battle, and this is my first battle since this is my first battle in months, not counting 360, but not counting Xbox 360 and 1, because I played 1 pretty much all night and all day. Trying to get the ACES achievements for my NTLS and my T95E2, as well as playing my Jumbo to get me the T20. But anyway, that's off topic. I guess it is on topic, because it explains what I've been doing recently. But yeah, it's my first time playing PC in a long time. And I kind of dominated a little bit. Did I? I didn't really dominate all that. I got low on the team, but I got Mastery Badge Class 2, which makes me feel special. Yeah, this is what the screens look like. As you can see, basically the screens of Wolf Tanks are always changing. They never stay the same. Although the PC version pretty much stays the same, I'm pretty sure of it. Although the Xbox one's changed a lot, or at least the 360 one changed a lot. Don't know if the Xbox One thing will stay the same forever, but the 360 one changed on like an update basis, or an every other update basis. So yeah, and as you can see, it's more detailed, and the detailed report, and then this you can scroll over and see what these badges actually mean. But yeah, that would be the differences between Xbox, between the 3 versions of Wolf Tanks, and why you should play all 3 if you can. I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy an Xbox to play the Xbox version, unless you really like your Wolf Tanks and you really think you would get hundreds of thousands of hours in that game. Then I would suggest buying a 360 just for that, because you can. And then buying, and then buying gold, and then buying Xbox Live Gold for every year until until end of time, which basically makes Wolf Tanks a subscription game now. That's thinking about it, but but that's only if you play only Wolf Tanks, and if you don't, and even if you only play Wolf Tanks, that's not if you don't. That's not if you take advantage of the Xbox Live Gold features. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's why if you have an Xbox 360, if you have an Xbox One, and if you have a PC all capable of running Wolf Tanks, which PCs are all capable of running Wolf Tanks, Xbox 360 is how much space you have, or Xbox 360 is, if your 360 still works, and Xbox One is how much space you have, if you have all of those conditions, and if you have an Xbox 360 and Xbox One, I really suggest playing all three because they're all very different. Although 360 is now the medium version of World of Tanks, it is now the World of Tanks you play if you have to. Well, PC and Xbox One are the preferred World of Tanks. PC because of it has more vehicles, and Xbox One because of it's an updated game, both graphically and gameplay-wise, and also UI-wise and stuff like that, which I guess is graphics, but yeah, no. But those are the reasons why you should play all three, and that's the reason why I'm going to be playing all three. And the reason why I'm playing... Oh, by the way, there's also more game modes in World of Tanks PC, and also they get more exclusives. As you can see, these are tier 10 tanks. I have not earned these. The reason why they're in my garage is simple. They're having an event where basically it's King of the Hill with tier 10 tanks. And basically, it's also respawns where... Yeah, I thought my timer was going up. It already went off. But anyway, so yeah, yeah, it's basically a game mode where you can respawn any of these tanks. And once you lose all your tanks, you're out of the game. Kind of like War Thunder, but different. So I mean, also Xbox has different game modes as well. Like it has, what is it called? Proving Grounds, where you fight against AI, similar to Armored Warfare, I think. Or is it just a match with AI? I don't know. Oh man, would that make it similar to World War planes and World War ships? Which would make more sense in Armored Warfare, as World War planes and World War ship already has it. And has similar game modes. And that's not in PC. Although people have been wanting it in PC, they just put it in Xbox. Which is the funny thing about wargaming is, they put tanks into PC, and they put gameplay changes into Xbox. It's weird. But it works if you can play one of the Xboxes and PC. It is weird, but it works. And they eventually will put it in PC, I think, but you know, it depends. And I mean, I know they're eventually going to put the tanks in Xbox, but it's going to take forever to put all of these bloody tanks into Xbox, and they're adding more. Like they hinted at, they kind of like heavily punched you in the head and hinted at Japanese heavy tanks recently. And World of Tanks Xbox does not have that tree. Does not have this tree at all. Does not have, let me see how many other trees I can look at. I think it only has a handful of, I think it only has like 3 French trees. German trees. Oh, I know a tree that they don't have. They don't have, what are they? These guys, they don't have these guys. Or they don't have the Bulldog, and then like, they don't have these guys, I don't think. I mean, I know they don't have the Bulldog, but do they have the T20 or T49? I'm not quite sure. I still haven't memorized the bloody tech tree for Xbox. But yeah, there's still a lot of tech trees to go through, unless they add them all in one patch or add them all on like a monthly basis. PC is going to keep chucking ahead with trinks, and unless they start adding serious gameplay updates to PC, Xbox will still be ahead in gameplay updates, as well as maps, because they've been changing the Xbox maps to suit the players more. Like Al-Haluf, they really changed that map in order to suit the players more. Because up here, like the north part of the map used to be just a canyon and going in and out of canyon. Now it's its own like little rich area with hills, and that's a bad description, but it's a much different map now. It plays a lot differently, and it's a lot better. I don't think that's been changed on PC, I don't think. But then again, I just showed you a map that's not on Xbox, so fair play. And also Xbox has like snow and night, I think, maybe rain, and you know, it has different effects on the maps, as well as war, which basically is all the city map, or a lot of city maps have variants where they're war torn, where buildings are bombed to anything. So yeah, there are a lot of differences between the 3 games, and basically I think you should play all 3. The reason why I'm playing all 3 is because Xbox One I'm playing normally, I'm recording it, and I'm playing to grind my tanks. Xbox 360 I'm playing with friends, and PC I might play with friends, but I am also need some new tanks, and playing with tanks I don't have, which is also new tanks. and probably going. I might go down. I might use the M3 Lean more on the PC because I can. I mean, I have more XP on it on the Xbox One somehow, but I want to get these tanks, but they go nowhere for me because I don't want to go down the heavy line again on PC. I might do it for fun, but nah, I'm not quite sure I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to do the same things I do on Xbox. What I'm going to do on PC is I'm going to go down this tree, or this line. Oh, this is not in. This is definitely not in. This is definitely not in Xbox One as well, or Xbox as well. Also, I might go down. Now that I'm looking at it, nah. Oh well, I'll go down the heavy line once it comes up. All right, but anyway, so yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you guys watching this video. It means a lot to me. Well, it's not to me to leave a comment they watch like this. Right to me, having done me for me a series on that. I'm probably gonna record one episode like after this, just for why not. But anyway, so yeah, I also appreciate if you to leave a comment. They want. I also appreciate if you to leave a tip. They want you. Let's try that again. Also appreciate a tip is greatly appreciated. Even no tip seems comments for people to no tip. And also well, actually that's it. So I guess see you in this. By the way, I'll put links in the description to the world the world tour video, as well as my Wolf Tanks Xbox 360 edition / Xbox One playlist, which is what I'm commonly using. But if you guys like this, if you guys want this to be a series and want to see me use tanks that are not in Xbox, not on the Xboxes, please let me know, and I'll start a series on this. Also, I go by views, so the more views this video gets, please do not spam. YouTube does not like that. But the more views this gets, and by not spam I mean ask your friends. I'll watch this video. If they watch it, then I get one more view, and then they tell their friends to watch it. They get one more. I get one more view, and yeah, and then I say this video is popular enough, so I might do more videos like it. That's my theory anyway, and that's what I've been doing since I don't need enough commenters to the whole comment thing doesn't work for me right now. But it might work in the future, so I can stop saying that. But anyway, so yeah, I guess see you in a second.